Hello, I'm Mario Toneguzzi, and I'm taking care of business. Joining me today is Paula Allen, Global Leader and Senior Vice President of Research and Total Wellbeing for LifeWorks. Paula, the Mental Health Index by LifeWorks has come out. What does the latest index indicate of what's happening in the state of affairs when it comes to mental health in Canada?
Well, a fair bit. I think overall, what we've seen is actually over the past short while, in January, we actually saw a decline in our mental health. So one of the largest declines that we've had since we started the index, other than the initial decline at the beginning of the pandemic. And really what that reflects is that, we're still dealing with a lot of change and uncertainty and risk. And even though things are not the same as they were in the beginning of the pandemic, we have been going through a period of upheaval for a long time. And in particular, going into November and the early part of December, we actually saw the light at the end of the tunnel quite clearly. And then we had the reversal in terms of the Omicron variant really kind of restrict us, and that has shown in our mental health. So that's one thing. And the other thing that we've seen is, people's view of their life and in particular their work has really morphed a bit. And, what's really coming out very strongly is this desire for flexibility at work. We have a lot of overlap in terms of our work and our life. And, this pandemic has required us to be very adaptable and to be very flexible. And that's, sometimes it's stressful, but it also gives us control. And definitely workers are wanting to have that sense of control and flexibility continue.
Yeah, I see by the numbers, 55% said flexible work was most important to them, more than even career progression, which was 24%. Do you think the longer that we go on in an environment where flexible work has become in many ways the norm, the more, I guess, the easier it becomes for companies to adapt and say, yeah, this is a good idea, and for employees to say, yeah, you know what, I like working from wherever.
Yeah, I think working from home is one part of it, but there are a lot of employers who have situations where that hasn't been possible over the pandemic. And we still find that, the desire for flexibility is still strong. In the previous month, we looked at what people are looking for in terms of flexibility, and it's very simple. It's the ability to step away when you need to deal with personal issues, whether it's to take a phone call or slightly rearrange your hours, shift swap, whatever it is, and with a recognition that work and life are not really separate. You have your personal life, you have your work life, and they're all part of your overall life and well-being. So, just the ability to kind of manage both within what's reasonable for the type of job that you have is really a very strong driver amongst employees, regardless of where they work.
Mm-hmm. Also wanted to ask, when you look at some of the results of the survey, one looked at the top drivers of sense of belonging at work overall. Like, what were some of those top drivers that give someone that sense of belonging?
Yeah, and the sense of belonging is really important. I mean, it correlates with your intention or thinking about resigning. It correlates very strongly with productivity, with people who don't have that sense of belonging being actually 30 days less productive a year than others. But the number one thing that people are looking for to have that sense of belonging and connection is recognition and appreciation. Feeling that what you're doing is meaningful to your organization, being recognized for your efforts. That was the number one single response. And salary was actually pretty well down there. It was one of the lower responses, with only 5% saying that helps their sense of belonging. So when we're talking about recognition, we're not talking about financial rewards. We're really talking about the interpersonal behavior people have that make them feel valued.
All right, super. Thanks for joining us today, Paula.
A pleasure, Mario.
All right, that was Paula Allen, who is Global Leader and Senior Vice President of Research and Total Wellbeing for LifeWorks. I'm Mario Toneguzzi. This has been Taking Care of Business. Thanks for joining us today.